Whether it was the members of Shiksa who contacted her, the Scotland Yard police who were forced to cooperate, or even a certain someone who accidentally became her travel companion, they only knew one thing. That she was sent here directly by the Shiksa overseer to track down an exceedingly vicious criminal mastermind, James Moriarty. This criminal mastermind never left any trace, but he secretly controlled the entire underground network of criminals in London. She's ruthless in his actions, yet there's a calm elegance revealed in the details of his actions. No one knew where he came from. Except for very few, like Fuhua or Auto Apocalypse, the Shiksa overseer. In fact, essentially, the latter could be regarded as Moriarty's father. Because this Moriarty came from one of his prototype Solian bodies. How on earth did the Solian body awaken his sense of self? And how did he escape from the backup warehouse of Shiksa and make it all the way to England? Why did he name himself Moriarty? How did he establish himself to be the head of criminal organizations in London? On the other hand, how did Otto investigate all these? Why give her the task and not Rihanna, who is clearly more involved in this? Fuhua had no clue about any of the questions above, and never intended to delve into them. For hundreds of years, she and Otto had come to an understanding, or so she thought. For her, there was only one thing that mattered at the moment: eradicating Moriarty's criminal organizations once and for all and bringing him to justice. Fuhua thought back to all the cases during the last 3 months and summarized them on the paper. After the incident with Colonial Moran, we all thought that he was finally at the end of his rope, but strangely, he didn't seem to be demoralized. Instead, he appeared to be more and more motivated. In Paddington, he disappeared from the surrounding carriage, leaving us with nothing but a defiant note. In Maselton, he used to break up a rival gang that was trafficking children, while we never found a single trace of him. I cite those examples to remind you that he was not only crafty, but also seemed to enjoy playing games with us. Even the destruction of the organization he had built from scratch failed to spoil his enjoyment. With such a volatile enemy, no one knows what he will do when cornered, so I had to be carefully clipping all his wings first, before going after him alone for the final pursuit. After all, with all due respect, when it comes to fighting within Shiksa, you really can't help me in any way. Stopping here, Fuhua took out her pocket watch and carefully confirmed the time. I'm positive that no one can get you to put aside your curiosity. That's why I asked my colleagues in Shiksa to secretly distract you and make you think that Willie Paul is important too. I'm staying in a hotel in a small town outside Dover. The hotel is so sparse and is so remotely located that I even need the local newsboy to deliver my letter. I'll be out of here in less than 7 hours. I have no luggage, and I will leave no trace. It will be almost impossible for you or Moriarty to find me. In a few days, it will be all settled. Go back to Baker Street and be patient until then. Jigsaw will send someone to tell you the whole truth. The moment she signed Fuhua, even she herself did not expect that the legendary duel that was later to be interpreted beyond recognition had quietly started from that moment.
去把信寄走吧。
Go send the letter. Fuhua returned to the front entrance of the hotel, handed the letter to the newsboy who had been waiting there for a long time, and gave him some hush money.
回房间吧。
I should go back to my room.
明天早上赶第一班轮
I'll
渡。
catch the first ferry tomorrow morning and keep tracking Moriarty, as long as he hasn't noticed me. Right as she walked down the corridor, the lady there, the guest in room 105, please wait. If I'm not mistaken, are you Fuhua from Jigsaw? The young man in uniform came out of the blue and strode toward Fuhua.
你是？
And you are?
没想到在这里也能见到。
I didn't expect to see you here. Looks like there's some truth in those Scotland Yard's rumors. Have you heard what they're saying? That there's always a Valkyrie hailing from the Orient who consistently shows up just when there's a case or a problem. I'm joking. Don't you remember me? We just met before, when that arson attack happened last month.
上个月的那起纵火案里。
不好意思，
Excuse me,
我这几
but
个
I
月
have
见了
met
太多
with
人。
too many people during the last few months.
好吧，
Very well.
我应该
How
明
silly
白
of me.
你是大
You're
人。
quite a famous figure
我是肯
after
德基的
all.
探长亨利，
I'm
也
Inspector
给苏格兰
Henry
长
from
跑。
Kent, and I often run errands for Scotland Yard too. He pulled a police ID out of his pocket. His movements were slightly dramatic, and he seemed to have handcuffs and weapons stuffed in the pockets of his bulging plainclothes, which gave an unexpected, unassuming impression.
我来追捕一个名叫
I'm
威利
here
保
for a
的恶棍。
scoundrel named
你一定也
Willie
听说过
Paul.
这个名字。
You must have heard that name.
威利保罗。
Willie Paul. Contrary to the false information I gave earlier, he did flee in this direction.
可是，
But now even the police from Kent came all the way
难
here.
道莫里亚蒂？
Could Moriarty also? Anyway, seems like that name indeed rings a bell. I haven't witnessed testimony that he escaped into this hotel a while ago. Have you seen him? Sorry, I know nothing about it. I just arrived here.
真遗
What a
憾
pity. I thought I was really
我原以为
lucky
自己
today
撞
to
了大
meet the
运
famous
遇上了你
detective
这位连警察
whom
总监
even
都
the
要
chef
佩
of
服3分的大
police
能给
yields
调查工作
to,
省下不少功夫。
thinking it would save me a lot of effort. From the man's seemingly sarcastic tone, Fuhua realized that this inspector belonged to the local police force that would not accept her easily. Due to the strong intervention of Jigsaw in the pursuit of Moriarty, many police officers found it hard to adapt to the existence of Valkyries like Fuhua. Looks like I'll have to spend some extra time explaining myself.
之前我认为，
I thought Willie had lost touch with Moriarty's organization. It's only a matter of time before Scotland Yard arrests him.
但我
But I
确实
never
没想到
thought
他
he
会
would
出现
wind
在
up
这里。
here. If it's a
说不只是巧
mere
也许是
coincidence,
巧合，也
maybe
许
it's
是你也会算
coincidence,
是。
or maybe you
不管
misanalyze
怎么说，
things.
我的
In
工
any
作只是去
case,
确认真
it's
相。
my job to
接下
find
来
out the
我
truth.
准备搜查整
Now
个
I'm
楼
going
层。
to search the entire
不过是
floor.
这样。
Fu
要是
Hua,
你一
if
贯
your
的机密
usual
任务
confidential
没有那么
mission
紧
is
急，
not so urgent,
应该
would
不
you
至于
mind
暴露
giving
于
me a
外。
hand?
从原则上来讲，
In
逮捕
principle,
逃
this is a
犯，
duty
保护
of
市民的安全，
police to
这是警
arrest
察的义务。
fugitives and ensure the
与
safety
此
of
相应，
citizens.
我们也有权要求
Accordingly,
任何
we
人
have the
愿意
right to
配合。
ask anyone
虽
to
然我知道
cooperate.
我不可能以
I
此
know
为
I
要求，
couldn't possibly ask you of
配
that,
合警察
but
的工作，
cooperation with
至
the
少在这个
police,
国家
at least in this
的确是
country,
种义务。
is indeed a virtue.
看来
Looks like this
这
one
个
is
人正
going
好
to
是
be
最
a
难被人
hard
说服
nut
的那
to
种类
crack.
型。不过，现在
Still,
离早
it's
班轮
more
动
than
起毛
7
还有7个
hours
多小时。
before the morning ferry weighs
另一方面，
anchor. Furthermore, I have to
确实，
confirm whether
莫里亚蒂是
Moriarty
否已
has
经通过某
somehow
种
been
形
able
式
to track my
掌握了我的行
whereabouts.
踪。我明白了，我
Fine,
们一起速战速决
let's
吧
be。quick.
那真是太荣幸了。
I'm very honored.
事先说明，
I should make
无
it
论案件
clear
进
that
展如何，
regardless of how
我
the
明早
case
必须继续
develops,
执行我的
I
任务。
must continue with my mission tomorrow morning.
好吧，
Fine.
就从这里分头搜查
Let's
吧。
split up from
我从左
here.
边开始，
I'll start on the
你从
left.
右边开
Could
始。
you please take the right?
好，
Alright,
我能跟
how
房客
much
透
can
露
I
多少？
disclose to the
问问
guests?
他们今天下午
Ask
有
them
没有
if
看到
they
一个
saw a
金色
man
头
with
发的家
blonde
伙。
hair this afternoon.
这应该
That
就
should be
够了。
enough. With such bad
外面
weather
是什么
out
鬼
there,
天气？
there shouldn't be more
本来
than
就
a
没
few
去过。
people around here.
当然，
And
要
of
是之前
course,
看到了威利，
if you
就
do
给
see
他一
Willie,
拳
just punch
当
him
场
in the
带走。
face and arrest him on the
你知道
spot.
他长什么样子。
You know how he looks, right? Sure. The door was unlocked, and there didn't seem to be anyone inside. The furniture in the room was plain and nothing special, just like all the other rooms. The door was unlocked, and there didn't seem to be anyone inside. There was even some dust on the carpet at the entrance, and the sign on the door was crooked. It seemed that not only was the hotel not doing well, but the management wasn't very diligent. The door was unlocked, and there didn't seem to be anyone inside the dark room. The window of this room was not closed properly, and a breeze was blowing through it. Still no trace of the fugitive. Who is there? What's your deal? Excuse me, have you seen a young
请问
man
你有
with
没有
blonde
见过
hair?
一个金色头发的年轻男人？
你是谁？
Who are you?
为什么要回答？
Why should I answer
我
that?
是一名和警
I'm
方有
an
关的人
associate
士。
with the police.
这样
That
说
should be enough for you to
你能理解吗？
understand.
警察？
Police?
不
Are
会
you
吧？没
pulling
在
my
早上
leg?
真见鬼！
Come on, I
我
only
以为这里
came
总
all
部
the way
偏僻
here
案件不会被
thinking
人
it'd be
打扰。
quiet enough, and there's no one to
您只要
disturb
回答我
me.
的问题就好。
You just need to
不会
answer
占
my
用太多时间。
question. It won't take
当然，
long.
我可不想
Of
惹麻
course,
烦。
I don't want any trouble.
我今
I
天
was
一
in
整
my
天都
room
在
all
房
day
间里，
today, and I
没有
didn't
看
see
见任何
anyone
符合
matching
描
your
述的人。
description.
那么，
Okay,
如
if
果
you
您接
notice
下
a
来注意到
similar
类似的可疑
suspicious
人，
person later,
还请
please
向旅馆
report
前
it
台报
to
告。
the hotel
好
front
吧，
desk.
好吧。
Alright, alright. What's with my luck today? The investigation is not yet complete. Looks
看
like
起
you
来
finished
你那边
there.
也已经完事了。
As expected of a
不愧是女
Valkyrie,
神，
you
动作比
certainly
我
do
还
things
快。
fast. Unfortunately, it
不过
amounted
结
to
果可能要
nothing.
让你失望，
No one saw anything.
没有任何收获。
我也一
Same
样。
here, but
但这
there's
里
still one
还有
last
最后一
room.
间房间。
这是
Sorry, but that's my
这是
room.
我自己的房间。
That's alright.
是
I realized
我刚
that
才
just
看见
now. But
但从程
technically,
序上
I
来
need to
说，
finish
我
searching
需要
each
完
and
成对
every
这里
room
所有
here.
房间的搜查。
As he spoke, he put his hand on the doorknob and put it gently down. What is it?
怎么了？
I don't think I locked the door when I left.
应该没有锁门。
As soon as she said that, the expression on both their
你确定？
faces became apprehensive. Are you sure? I am. Fu Hua took out the key and inserted it into the lock, only to find that she couldn't turn it even an inch. Locked from the inside. Looks like our friend chose the worst possible hideout.
没有选了个最糟糕的藏身之地。
The inspector grabbed the door handle hard and gave it a few tugs while he slammed the door with his other hand. But there was no response from the room.
他不
I
肯
guess
欢
we're
迎
not
我。
welcome. The inspector took out the gun hidden in his pocket and seemed ready to break the door lock directly, but Fu Hua stopped him by blocking the door first. Let's not panic anyone else. Leave it to me. Settled. After Fu Hua applied some force with her wrist, the door shook a little before the handle on the side dropped limply. Come on.
往上，
Without so much as an explanation, Fu Hua pushed open the door. She thought there would be a malicious criminal behind the door, or at least a helpless goon. Perhaps she could get information about Moriarty from this criminal and speed up her final pursuit. Or perhaps she could find that her whereabouts have been exposed and Moriarty would once again appear into the dark, nowhere to be found. But the reality completely betrayed her imagination. What's this? A man lay on his stomach on the carpet of the room. A young man with blonde hair, exactly as described by the inspector and the image in Fu Hua's memory. This fugitive, who had worked for Moriarty, now lay lifeless in Fu Hua's own room.
这
This is... Can you explain the current situation to me, Fu Hua? He's dead.
至于他为
As
什
for
么死在这
how,
里，
I need another minute to think. The inspector eyed Fu Hua strangely and crouched down to check the man laying on the floor. Unquestionably, it was Willie Pa, and he was indeed dead.
不过
Well, I now need your cooperation more than ever, Fu Hua. If you can't explain what
如
happened
果
in
你不
your
能解释
room,
清楚
then
自己的房间里
undoubtedly
发生过什
you're
么，
one of the suspects
那么
in
毫
this
无疑问，
case.
你就是这个案件的嫌疑人之一。
It seemed that the cunning criminal mastermind had prepared a big gift for his sworn enemy this time.
来整理一下
Let's
情
get the
况
whole
吧。
thing straight. Before
在
I
我抵达之
arrived,
前，
you left
你
room
为了寄信
105 for
而
about
离开
5
105
minutes
号房，
to post a
大
letter,
概有5
right?
分钟左右。
5 minutes later, you
5分钟
returned to the
后，你
hotel
返
and
回
met
旅馆遇
me.
到了
The two of us
我们两个一
searched
起
the
搜查
other
了
10 rooms
其他
together, and there was
没
no
有发现
sign
威利
of
的行
Willie.
踪。最
In
后
the end, the
只
only
剩下你的
room
房
left
间。
was yours. You found the
你发
door
现房门被
locked,
反
and we
锁，
broke in
我们一起
together,
破门
and
而
then
入，
Willie's body was
然后
discovered.
找到了威利的尸体。
True.
确实如此。
So,
以
in
在
just
几
a few
分钟的时
minutes,
间里
a body just popped
一个死
out
人
of the
就像
floor
蘑菇一样从
in
你
your
房间
room
里
like a
长了出来。
mushroom. Yes,
我
I
也觉
deem
得
it
不可思议。
unbelievable too.
需要
Need
我
some
提供什么建议
advice?
吗？
I'll report
我
the
会把
facts
相
to
关事
Scotland
实上面
Yard.
做个蓝场，
While all this
至
is
少在
going
此过程
on,
中，
I have to
我
advise
不
you
建
not to
议你
leave
离
this
开这个
room.
房间。
Haven't I mentioned I
我应该
also
说
have
过，
very important
我身上也
investigation
有
on
非
my
常重要
hands?
的调查任务。
If I don't make it to the
如
target's
果明
next
天不能把
hideout
能目标的
tomorrow,
下一个藏
the
身
whole
之处，
chain will break.
整个链条就会断掉。
I'm in
我的
the
处境也
same
同样尴
dilemma
尬。
here. If
要
I
是让我
leave
放
this
这一
dead
条人
body
命不顾，
alone, the
我们警方唯
justice
一的
we
证据
endeavor
就
to uphold will break. In that
原来如
case,
此。
let's fulfill your sense of justice
那么，
before the earliest
就让我们
ferries
在
set
早班轮渡
sail.
起锚前，
What do you say?
先抓住你的正义。祝贺，
I'll find out the truth
天
and
亮之
prove
前
my
我会将这件事
innocence.
查清楚，
Then you can
并证明
naturally
自己的
allow me
清
to
白。
leave.
到时候，你自然可以让我先行离开。
Alright
好
then.
吧，
My
我
body
可
is
没有
not
门
as
锁
tough
结
as
实，
a door
没办
lock.
法跟你来硬。
I'll allow you to do things your own
就按
way.
你愿意的方式来办吧。
Thank you
非
for
常
your
感谢你的理
understanding,
解，
Inspector.
探长。
The inspector said no more and turned away. Apparently, he was indeed not used to this way of solving cases, and even appeared a little nervous.
那么接下
Next.
来，希望一
Hopefully,
切
I won't have to resort to using 凤凰 down. The one on the floor was Willie Paw, as sad as a doornail. There are
全
signs
身都
all
有
over
遭受
his
殴打的
body
痕
that
迹，
he was beaten.
似乎
He
经受过
seems
某
to
种折
have
磨。
been through some kind of torture.
难道他
Was
曾
he
被人
jailed
监禁在什么
somewhere
地
to
方
be
进行拷问？
interrogated?
可
It
是，
must take
要
quite
造
an
成这样的
effort
伤
for
势，
him to be
想必
covered
需要
in
花上不
bruises
少力
like
气。
this.
如果
If
他
he
刚刚遇
has
害，
just been killed,
凶
how
手要
could
怎
the
么在这么
killer
短的时
have
间里造
inflicted
成这么
such
严重的
severe
伤势？
injuries in such a short time?
如
If
果
he
他
was
早就已
already
经遇
dead,
害，
how would the killer
凶手要
move
怎
the
么把
body
尸体
into
移
my
动到我的
room?
房间里？
The small table was strewn with paraphernalia, 2 train tickets, a ferry ticket, a few notes, and cash. A far cry from the lack of life in the room that Fu Hua tried to maintain.
根据这些
From
线
these
索，能
clues,
还原出他的
we
行
can
动轨
reconstruct
迹，
his movements.
和我之前的
As
预
I
期差
had
不多。
expected,
逃
he
出伦敦
escaped
后一路向东。
London and headed east.
不过，
However, Willie seemed
在
to
逃
be
亡当
receiving
中，
some kind of
威利
guidance
似
on
乎
the
一直接受
run.
着某种指引。
Moriarty? Why would he do
Moriarty.
that for someone useless
他
to
为什么会
him?
对这样的妻子？而且，
And why would he
这
leave
个人为
all
什
the
么刻意把这
evidence
些
in
证据
my room
放在
deliberately?
我的房间里？